the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
We lost the line! We lost the line!
Democracy in America was on the brink 2 years ago today. Now on the anniversary of the January 6th attack, we're talking about how the day is being remembered in the district. Meanwhile, Congress still out of business after 3 days of votes and still no House Speaker. How it's directly impacting D.C. laws and what to expect when the House reconvenes to try again today. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Meteorologist Damon Matson joins us with the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, we are back to really what feels like a chilly start to our day, and what can we expect for the weekend?
Yeah, Mark, winter for the most part has returned. Reality setting back in here with these chillier temperatures, but thankfully enough, we only gradually dropped back to this chill in the air. Still about 50 degrees right now in D.C., over toward Leesburg, southern Maryland, holding on to those low 50s as well. But we are noting that slightly chillier air from Interstate 81 and points westward, where it's down into the upper 30s and low 40s. A lot closer to where we typically should be by early January standards, and a good bit cooler than 24 hours ago by 10 to 15 degrees in most locations. So the rest of the afternoon, there you have it. We're just going to continue to hover around that 50-degree mark to the east, chillier in the low 40s to the west, and the cloud cover that's been stubborn all morning long is still going to stick around for a bit, but we have a better chance at seeing more peaks of sunshine, at least as we go into the later afternoon hours. So the weekend's right around the corner. What are the main things we have to watch out for Saturday and Sunday? We'll let you know in just a bit.
Damon, thank you. Today marks 2 years since protests over the 2020 election results turned into a violent riot at the United States Capitol, and the impacts continue to be felt. DC News Now's Lex Suarez spent the morning on Capitol Hill and shows us demonstrations started early.
Protesters came together early this morning to both condemn and show support for the Capitol riots. You can see about 100 people here at the Supreme Court, and Capitol Police having to step in between them to keep them separated.
USA! USA!
All day, that's all you heard, right? While you were attacking the police?
I lost this country, and I don't want to lose this country.
Tensions rose quickly as the anniversary of the controversial day brought out strong opposing views.
They know it's not acceptable, not going to be tolerated in America. We're not going to have the next Nazi party.
It's the anniversary of January 6th where people died, and America needs to stand up and hold everybody accountable for that day.
Even though the House committee just released its findings, people on both sides argue more should be done, including the mother of the woman who died after being shot by Capitol Police.
That was a show. That wasn't an investigation. You know, how can you have they didn't mention my daughter's name until the very last hearing. They never mentioned a lot of things, and there.
Won't let Christian nationalism go down. I'm gonna let it shine.
Reverend Dimsall and a couple dozen faith leaders came together for a sunrise prayer vigil Friday morning.
We thank you, God, that as bad as
to not only pray for democracy, but also condemn Christian nationalism, which they say is the main root of the Capitol riot.
If we want to prevent this sort of political violence from happening again, we can't make the mistake of thinking it's over.
I do think there's a really big, great divide in America, and I don't know what's going to be the catalyst to break it.
The demonstrations will continue throughout the day. The very last is planned to be held at the D.C. jail, where they will be rallying in support of the January Sixers. In Washington, Lex Suarez, D.C. News Now.
Lex, thank you. Meanwhile, lawmakers held a news conference on the very steps that the attack occurred on in remembrance of the fallen officers. And we heard from current Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, as well as the families of those Capitol Police officers who lost their lives that day.
They failed. They failed because of the bravery and valor of the United States Capitol Police and the Metropolitan Police Department officers who fought heroically to defend our democracy. We will never forget their sacrifice, and we will never forget this day.
An emotional gathering. We also heard the families say the names of the officers who lost their lives.
Brian David Sicknick, Howard Charles Liebengood. Metropolitan Police Department officers Gunther Hashida, Kyle DeFreitag, and Jeffrey Smith.
Officer Billy Evans.
Though filled with somber, representatives are still gearing up for the continued battle for House Speaker. After 3 days and 11 failed votes, House Republicans are still in a stalemate over who should become the next Speaker.
The yeas and nays are requested.
11 votes later, the House still has no speaker.
We can't continue like this. The American people deserve much, much better.
Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger was just one of many lawmakers expressing frustration at the ongoing fight. A small group of Republicans have consistently voted against Congressman Kevin McCarthy, stopping him from getting the majority needed to become Speaker.
McCarthy does not have the votes.
But McCarthy offered a glimmer of hope about negotiations with the holdouts.
We're having really good progress in conversation. I think everybody in the conversation wants to find a solution.
The compromise under discussion centers on rule changes that would take away from the Speaker's power and give individual lawmakers more control, including a rule that would let any lawmaker make a motion for a vote to kick the Speaker out of their seat. The holdouts are also negotiating to get key seats on committees.
We want the leadership and the tools to protect the American people from the swamp.
But it's not a done deal yet, and the longer this drags out, the more concerned some lawmakers are becoming. Congresswoman Catherine Clark says if a crisis happens, they won't be able to respond.
It's just a matter of luck at this point that there is not something we miss.
Even if a resolution is in sight, Congressman Richie Torres says this raises questions about how the Republican majority will legislate.
If you cannot even perform the most elementary function of selecting a speaker, then you have no real ability to govern.
And happening now, lawmakers have returned to the House chamber to start their 12th vote on who will be the next House Speaker. According to our media partners at the Hill, Kevin McCarthy and Congressman Chip Roy have made progress on negotiations. Roy is one of several lawmakers who have not supported McCarthy for Speaker. We will bring you the latest when we know more. And early voting starts today for the 4th Congressional District special election to fill the late Representative Donald McEachin's seat. Candidates include Republican Leon Benjamin Sr. and Democrat Jennifer McClellan. Now, if McClellan wins, she would become the first black woman to represent Virginia in Congress, and voters can cast their ballots early at the Office of Elections or the Hickory Hill Community Center in Richmond. Now, voters will not be able to cast votes early at City Hall. Both voting locations are open 7 days a week, but you can check their websites for specific hours. Well, crime remains a big concern for people in Prince George's County as they swore in State Attorney Aisha Braveboy for a second term. Braveboy announced that she plans to change her approach to community safety, specifically targeting crime among teenagers. She says accountability will be taken to the state level and will push forward legislation to expand efforts against organized crime. Braveboy added that programs already in place will help address youth crime and gun violence in hopes to keep young people out of the prison system.
We have to give our young people something to look forward to. Now, we will hold them accountable, and we prosecute young people who commit carjackings, and we do ask for serious punishments for them. However, what we want is for them not to be in the system at all.
And overall crime has increased in Prince George's County over the last few years. Well, developing now, a federal judge is saying that West Virginia's ban on transgender athletes competing in girls' sports is constitutional. DC News Now's Randy Bass is in the studio breaking down what it means for students in sports.
The bill in question, the Save Women's Sports Bill, or House Bill 3293, was passed and signed into law back in 2021 during that legislative session. The law put certain definitions in place when it comes to gender. It defines girl and woman as a person who is biologically female, therefore making male to female transgender girls no longer eligible
to participate on girls' school sports teams. At the time the law passed, there were no known transgender students playing school sports in West Virginia. Soon after, though, the law was challenged by a trans middle school student who was told she would not be allowed to try out for the girls' track and cross-country teams. In response to yesterday's ruling from that federal judge, an LGBT advocacy group, Fairness West Virginia, said legislative leaders spread the lie that girls' sports would be dominated by transgender athletes, but they couldn't even name one such athlete. This bill was never about protecting girls who play sports, because if it was, she would still be allowed to play. Here's what West Virginia Governor Jim Justice had to say about the law back in 2021.
It concerns me that we may miss out on a really important sporting event or something like that that could come to West Virginia that we miss out on and everything. You know, however, I think the benefits of it way outweigh the bad part of it.
The ruling does not entirely exclude trans girls and women from playing sports at the high school and middle school levels. They are still allowed to try out for men's and boys teams. In the studio, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Thank you, Randy. Developing story out of Silver Spring. A Montgomery County man is under arrest after being accused of sex trafficking at least 2 women he met on social media. This is 34-year-old Pedro Perez Oliveros. He faces several counts of trafficking and prostitution. Police interviewed one woman who said that Oliveros put an ad online for a cleaning job. She claims he told her she could make extra money as an escort and stop at any time. But when she said that she wanted to stop, she says that he tried to force her to pay him $10,000. And police believe that more women may have been hired by Oliveros and are asking them to come forward. Well, Buffalo Bills player Demar Hamlin continues to improve this afternoon. The 24-year-old player collapsed on the field during Monday night's game in Cincinnati against the Bengals. Now, the Bills released a statement today saying that per the physicians at UCMC, Demar's breathing tube was removed overnight. He continues to progress remarkably in his recovery. Now, his neurologic function remains intact, and he has been able to talk to his family and care team. The Bills also said that Demar FaceTimed his team today and spoke to players and coaches, telling them, quote, "I love you boys." And we'll continue to update you on Demar's condition as it comes into our newsroom.